Welcome to Plymouth Ice Center as we begin the 2019-2020 boys hockey season with the CCX Turkey Trot Tournament hosted by Wayzata. Our first game tonight, it's a great one. The Edina Hornets, defending Class AA champion, against the defending Turkey Trot champion, the Maple Grove Crimson. Good evening, I'm Jay Wilcox along with Dan Ficken. John Jacobson will join us ringside as well. And boy, an exciting way to start the season, Dan. This was the championship matchup in this tournament from a year ago. Sure, both teams have lost some firepower from a year ago, but still very good quality programs and good teams this year.
Well, Edina's Edina, okay, whatever. I mean, we got a replay of the championship game, which went into overtime last year. Defending state champion. We got the tournament champion from last year playing each other. Both good programs. Hard skaters, disciplined, but both have some very big similarities. They lost some scoring power. Edina lost 111 goals from last year's team. Maple Grove lost 54, so they've got to shore that up. They have returning goaltenders coming back, so the defense should be solid, but this is going to be a nip-and-tuck battle.
A lot of good quality players coming into both of these programs, and I think Maple Grove in particular may be new to this, to having as much talent year after year coming in. You could argue right now that they're bringing as much talent into their high school program as just about any high school team in the state.
Well, we were talking beforehand. They're on par with Edina as far as the youth coming up. Their AA Bantam team has won the last 2 state championships, and they got some great talent. They lost some guys, but Coach Brewer, he isn't too worried about it because he can fill the holes with what he's got. Edina, I asked Coach how he's going to play this year. We're just going to play hockey. Of course you are. I mean, that's the way you play hockey in Edina, and they will be there at the end just like they always are.
This tournament oftentimes is on Thanksgiving weekend because it falls so late this year. Turkey Trot is before that, but it's a great opportunity, I think, you're going to get 2 good games both these nights. We've got a new team in it with Moorhead this year, which people are excited about as well. So more so than wins and losses, I think both the coaches in this game and the next game are really just looking to see how their lines develop, how their young players step in and kind of get their feet wet.
Well, here's the deal. We have 4 teams in the top 25 in the state of Minnesota, number 2, number 9, number 13, and 23. I mean, how could you better start a season without playing the best competition in the state? And you'll find out about your kids right away, and they need to know that right away because all 4 of these teams play murderous schedules. They're playing the top 15 all the way through. They got to know right away what they got. This is the best place to do it. In fact, folks, this is the place to be for hockey this weekend. This is the best tournament and the best set of games in the state this weekend.
All right, Edina and Maple Grove will drop the puck for that one in a moment. And later on tonight, Wayzata and Moorhead take the ice here at Plymouth Ice Center. You're watching the CCX Turkey Trot Hockey Tournament.
This holiday season, unwrap the possibilities with a Simonson Salon and Spa experience. Unrivaled hair, face, body, nail services, and beauty products for you or anyone on your list. Spa packages start at only $148. A holiday-inspired bonus gift is yours with a qualifying in-store gift card purchase. Shop our irresistible boutique for trendy fashions, gifts, and accessories in Maple Grove, Plymouth, and Coon Rapids. For dazzling online gift certificates, visit simonsons.com.
Plymouth Ice Center rapidly filling up here for this first game of the Turkey Trot Tournament here, the 18th tournament. We go all the way back to 2002 for the first one of these. The Wayzata Trojans have been a great partner, and we've been happy to bring it to you on CCX, or prior to that when we were known as Channel 12. As Edina and Maple Grove getting set to face off. And Dan, as we've talked about in past years too, a lot of general fans coming to watch these games. There's a look at the goalies for each team, and again, returners, and both very good seasons a year ago. Haug backstopping his team to a state championship, and Winnicky having a great year for Maple Grove. And we are underway as Maple Grove working it up the right side here. Kyle Kukkonen dropping the pass over. Sam Jacobs hustling after it. Bottled up there, and they free the puck back up though. Back out to the point it comes and dumped back around. It takes a bounce back the other way there. That one could have been trouble, but instead it went right to a Hornet. Boltman pushing it ahead there to Luke Rugemer. Chopped away in the high slot there. Crimson able to get control again. Ethan Elias circling back, whipping it across now. Henry Nelson. Nelson leading the rush, the defenseman. His shot attempt blocked by Boltman and then dumped back down deep. Nelson back to it, pinned to the wall there by Nick Williams. And it'll roll back into the Maple Grove zone. Icing coming up against the Hornets. We will head back into Edina's end of the rink here for a face-off early on as you get a look at the schedule. This game and then followed up by tournament newcomer Moorhead as they take on Wayzata. And a lot of folks are kind of excited, I think, to see the Spuds coming down.
Yeah, if you know hockey in Minnesota, you know all about the Moorhead Spuds. They've been a traditional power just like all the rest of the teams in this tournament, and a great addition. And they're going to bring a big crowd in, too. We're going to see a lot of orange tonight.
Dump back into the Maple Grove zone. Winicky there to stop it. Nice breakout here as the Crimson coming out 2-on-2, but that one interrupted for the moment, then picked up again. And trying to get to the net there was Tyler Oakland, but kind of squirted free, and Haug able to cover it up for Edina. And Coach Giles said, yes, we've got a lot of new faces, but when you have Loudon and net returning and after playing so many games and playing so well last year, it's kind of a good feeling. Might be able to cover up from a mistake or two that a young team might make.
He'll know when to settle it down, when to calm it down, and I think he's got an awesome save percentage. He's the real deal in net, and it's comforting when you got your net covered up good.
Kept in along the wall there by Cal Thomas. Puck popping free there. Trying to free it up again was Landon Gunderson, a freshman in the lineup for Maple Grove.
Another note here too, Jay, is the Edina's got 4 newcomers playing defense this year too, so Hog's going to have to be good to begin with and let them get settled. But the pace of this game's been pretty good so far.
Pops into the Hornets bench, and we get a whistle here as Kurt Giles in the middle there, the Hornets coach. Of course, a longtime defenseman playing in an old arena in Bloomington that's no longer there. Unfortunately, Med Center, as he was a longtime North Star and a great defenseman for them.
Yeah, we were talking 21 years he's behind the bench for the Hornets. Now, you don't see that too many times.
How giving it away. Now it's flipped in, and Maple Grove is on the board. Chris Kernan will start the scoring for the Turkey Trot tournament as Haug, having a little trouble with it, and a misplay ends up costing him. The puck popped out front, and Kernan able to put it away for the Crimson, and they'll go up 1-0.
Well, there we go. The defense got a little confused in front of the net. Maple Grove with a strong forecheck got all 3 guys stuck in front here. And you'll see him covering, but nobody's watching the front of the net real hard. And here comes that trailer coming in just like they do and pounds it away.
Jacobs putting it out front after Kukkonen had really blocked the clearing attempt by Haug. It wasn't quite as much of a mistake by Haug as I first thought. It was really a good read by Kukkonen to block it.
Yep.
That one thrown just wide of the net. Fluttering puck there, and Winicky with the stop.
Well, we're seeing a nice response from Edina right off the bat, as we usually do. They get scored on, and they're responding back by getting some time in the Maple Grove zone. They haven't spent a lot of time there. You see Chris Kernan there, junior forward.
Comes free to center. Boltman whipping it across there to Wyatt Wurst, and now get a whistle here as I've seen a few more whistles of late after we jinxed it by saying a good flow to start, right, Tim?
Never fails. Yeah, the one thing both these teams got to be aware of is a transition game. They're both quick and fast, and if you make a mistake in between the blue lines, the other team can turn it on you real quick and get an opportunity. Turnovers will be critical also.
Worst pass right up the middle off the stick of Illies and in deep, and we're going to have a penalty coming up here against Maple Grove. Our first minor of the game as an interference call will be whistled against the Crimson. Looks like Kukkonen's going to go to the box. And so we'll get a chance to see an early power play here for Edina. Obviously, this early in the season, probably not been worked on a ton for either of these teams. They had to have tryouts, pick teams first, and then some scrimmages. And so, you know, you get a little special teams work, but probably not a whole lot at this point.
Well, they were clipping along at 30% on the power play, which is a phenomenally good number last year. But
a big stop by Winicky on Boltman's point shot there, and a juicy rebound, but they couldn't get the stick down it immediately. Dumped down low. Here's a quick pass back off the defenseman's skate, but Crimson unable to clear. Williams holding up top here for Edina, dropping it into that circle, and Winicky getting a piece of that shot from Emmett Wurst. And we'll have a draw in the Crimson zone, so they're putting some pucks on Winicky here in the early portion of this power play. Edina moving the puck, and you know, you sometimes, admittedly, I'm guilty of this. You know, you get caught up in saying how many guys are new to varsity, but you kind of forget how much high-level hockey these kids have played on the way up for both programs.
Yeah, they've been on double-A teams pretty much all the way out. And trust me, the JV teams are good too. So the system doesn't change. They know it. They should be able to execute it.
Crimson able to flip it down, and Hogg's going to cover that one up. Some pretty good hustle there by Sam Jacobs caused him to cover that puck as Jacobs turned on the speed a little bit to get by the defenseman and create some havoc and force a face-off. That's big. I mean, that's a very minor thing. It's not going to show up on any stat or anything, but it was a great hustle play by Jacobs.
Well, both these teams have a penalty kill that's averaging 80 to 85%, and these kids know how to run it.
Hornets control the draw here. Carried through neutral here by Jimmy Clark, a talented freshman for Edina. So each of them has a ninth grader in the lineup here tonight. And obviously to make the varsity on these programs as a ninth grader, you got to be pretty good.
You don't see it happen a lot. There's only one of them on each team.
Flip back out there by Grant Zick for Maple Grove. And then the pass knocked down by Ben Leafblad, as they're being pesky here on the penalty kill early on. And Leafblad will knock that one away as Edina looked good early on the power play, but struggling a little bit on this sequence. Wyatt Wurst carrying it up the left side. The defenseman for the Hornets trying to put it out front. Pass was blocked and dumped out. Good reach to keep it alive, though, for Edina, as A.J. Dahl now will bring it back in. Down to the corner, Clark. Had it, lost it, comes free out front, and they tie it up. Hornets on the board as it's popped in from in close. I believe it was Illies who dumped that one in. It is, and Edina evens things up. Didn't look like anything that big was developing here, but all of a sudden a little quick turnover, and there it is, and Illies wasting no time getting rid of it.
Looks like he shelved it up into the upper left-hand corner. Again, we were talking about turnovers. There was a turnover, and either one of these teams can bury you with it real quick, and the Hornets just did. And it's going to be a close game all the way through, I think. One goal's going to decide it.
So the first penalty of the game leads to a power play goal for Edina, and they even things up. And now back to five aside. Maple Grove carrying it in, and Loudon Hogg are making a stick save. Puck comes free out front. Hornets able to get back and cover it up. Clark will get an assist on the goal by Illies as he got a piece of that one to chop it free. Battle for it down in the corner. It'll ring around now to Grant Morton for the Hornets, trying to bank it ahead, but well read by the defenseman there to break that one up for the Crimson was Spencer Dahlquist, one of their most experienced D-men. Here's Jake Boltman carrying it hard up the right side. Boltman firing. Winicky the stop. He lost sight of it briefly. And then the rebound try was off the side of the net. Crimson sweep it on out. We'll see if this will get there for an ice, and it will. Still early enough in the game. There's not that much snow built up. That one had enough steam to get all the way down. But good hard shot. Boltman's a great defenseman. 4th year varsity regular. And you see Winicky, that one definitely gave him some trouble.
Well, the future Gophers got a little offense in him, too. Just a nice hard shot that came in. And, you know, Winicky kind of lost where it was. I also like the response here, too. Now, Maple Grove gets scored on. Bang, they get it right back down the Edina zone and are attacking them hard. Moorhead leading Wayzata 2-0 in the junior varsity tournament, something that we don't
get a chance to talk about it probably as much as we should, but you know, the same 4 schools playing in a JV tournament on the adjacent rink, which was such a nice thing to have. You know, the more than one quality rink here at Plymouth Ice Center that they can carry on that tournament without having to, you know, be playing at odd times or anything. You can just have your JV going on the rink next and opposite this. So then these 2 schools will play in the second JV game over there on the rink C. It comes out front. Nice play to break it up though by Nelson. Here comes Henry Nelson from Maple Grove. They're changing behind him. He drops the pass back. Here's a shot that never made it to the net. Nelson trying to get it back out front. And now it is centered there, but the Hornets were ready as Owen Davis picked it off. Here comes Edina. Jackson Borst dropping it over Owen. A little too hard for Owen Davis. I think Borst, if he had that to do again, might have shot that puck. Now dump back over to the corner. Edina has picked up some steam here. They're playing much better than they did in the first few shifts. Push back into the Hornets zone. Wyatt Worst back to play it. Leaving it for Boltman. He took a hit but got the pass away. And a nice play to break that one up by Ian Barber for Maple Grove, dumping it in behind where Matthew Gruss comes after it. Back out to the point. That one changed direction off the stick of Jacob Hicks.
Boy, Maple Grove is just getting in the passing lanes, and their poke checking is really good too. They're very active with their sticks, and it's really giving Edina a hard time right now.
Yeah, they've done a number of nice, you know, reads on and on all areas of the ice too. Chopped around. Worst trying to get that one out. Good forecheck again here by Maple Grove. And it's off a skate, and Edina's just going to have to ice it here as things were getting dicey out front. Boltman saw the puck, but he had a swing and a miss. I think it took a little bounce on him, and a couple of Crimson, Barber and one other guy were close enough that one was getting scary. There's a look at Todd Berglund, the Crimson head coach, and he's a little fired up right now, but he's excited about this group that he has right here. And you know, they did lose a couple of guys going to juniors and whatnot, but they're, you know, still feel like they've got a really good group and a good future too with this program.
He's very positive. He understands too. He's got a good feeder program. He's making it work, and he knows he can put 3 to 4 lines out there at any given time. Good coach.
Stick save there by Hogg on the quick shot by Giuliani for Maple Grove. Hard up the right side. Sawyer Skansen now got the pass away. Center try here, and it pops out to the point, and that puck fluttered away. Skansen with it again here for Maple Grove.
Skansen's a sophomore. He's a big guy.
Clark leading the rush back the other way. They're offside, the Hornets. That's the one thing about when you talk about, you know, younger guys coming in, that most of the time the skill's there, the skating's there, sometimes the physicality, you know, and you might be looking at a 15-year-old against an 18-year-old, and that's where it takes some getting used to varsity hockey usually.
Well, when you get a kid like Skansen too, who's obviously very tall for a 10th grader, he's still catching up to his body growth too, you know, coordination-wise. And I think the other factor too, Jay, is just the speed of the game. You know, you're young, you've been playing Bantam, but this is high school varsity.
Centering try there, a sliding block by Nelson, and that leads to a Crimson breakout the other way. Kernan pushing it toward the corner, and they play it past Kukkonen, but a nice job by Jacobs to jump in there and get it. Kukkonen trying to spin away in that corner as he's battling with Illies. And now a takeaway for the Hornets. Rugemer carrying it up the right side. Deflecting as Edina's changing. Elias up with it, a dangerous cross-ice pass there. Now Boltman will bring it back into the Maple Grove zone. Boltman faking the shot, keeps possession, looking out front. Nelson got a piece of it. And now Boltman, great hands to regain control here. Boltman right back to the attack. Boltman dropping the pass off. Oh, nice play to pick that one off, though, for the Crimson. Elias. Elias coming hard the other direction. Ridden off that one, tried to drop the pass to Leafblad. And then chopped out of there by Mark Overman for Edina. Crimson get it back. 7:20 to go first period. We're even up at a goal apiece. The opening game of the CCX Turkey Trot Tournament for 2019. And a good pace to this one. Edina in green, Maple Grove in white. And again, if you're just joining us, Edina's defending state champion, but Maple Grove is the defending Turkey Trot champion. Beat the Hornets in a shootout that officially counted as a tie last year, but they have to have a winner, obviously, in the tournament, and that was Maple Grove. Winnicke will cover this one up, and we'll get a draw with 6:50 to go here in the first.
Well, we're getting the kind of game we thought we would. Good pace, both good skating teams, both disciplined, only one penalty, and a lot of good movement up and down the ice. No one's dominating them, but they're moving the puck back and forth. You're just seeing a little bit of sloppiness because they're not quite there yet after only 20 weeks of practice. It'll be a little while before they pull all that together, but both teams look good and aggressive.
Interception there, and Clark throws it back toward the corner. Crimson try and reverse it to get it out, and now eventually do. Chasing it down there is Matthew Russ in the corner. Pinned to the wall there. Nice hands by Williams for Edina, one of their talented defensemen. Williams comes up with it here.
Williams going to be a future golfer.
Pass deflected there, and then a hit thrown, but A.J. Dahl had a chance to brace himself for that one, so he fended it off pretty well. Edina changing up as they dump it on in. Thrown around toward Barber. And deflected at the Edina line, chip back out, and hit thrown, and that'll be a penalty coming up here.
That might be a big one. Took him from behind, it looks like. I don't know. We'll see how they call it. It might be just a boarding.
I have to double check on this one. We don't have a 6 on our roster here. Oh, that was not good.
Yeah. And some of the Hornets kind of taking a little, yeah, that was from behind, no question about it. You could fully see the number. So I'm wondering if maybe we'll get a big one here.
Haven't put the time on the board yet to see if there's a chance it's a major or not. I think that's what he's signaling.
Yep.
Yeah. We are going to have a major penalty called.
Disqualification, that's the question. I still haven't figured out who it is. I can't find the number. Okay.
So it indeed is a 5-minute major. Edina, golden opportunity here. Winnicke the stop, and then it's cleared just over the line. Hornets looking to set it up, and just jabbed away at the last second there, or it would have been a great chance for Emmett Wurst. Here's Wurst with it at the top of the circle. Gets the return pass from Williams, fires, pad save, rebound is loose. And a couple tries at it, but they couldn't get it on net. Now across it comes, and there's a pad save by Winnicke. Crimson trying to get it out. Unable to do so, though. Williams keeping it in, walks in, shot knocked down. It comes out again. Boltman with it out high. 5 minutes to play here in the first. 1-1, but Edina with a major power play here. Around it comes Boltman. Boltman a move there, but just lost it. And then finally cleared on out by Jacobs. Maple Grove badly needed a change there, but they're able to kill off the first minute plus of this penalty.
Good discipline by the Hornets, too. They got a little excited, got it going in the beginning, then they slowed it down a little bit, tried to get better control over it.
Nice block at the line there by Cal Thomas, and Edina has to regroup and go again here. Williams chased back by Tyler Oakland. Dropped across to Morton. Grant Morton carrying it in. Comes to the point with it, and then around for Williams. Williams fires, and Winnicke able to close the pads in time and keep it out of the net.
Boy, there was a couple good pieces of puck movement right there, too. From the left-hand side of the zone over to the right-hand side, hoping to get a one-timer on it. Winnicke was on top of it, but watch the puck movement. There's a good pass there, and the one there, wanted to get that off a little sooner.
Hornets able to keep it in. Morton firing, pad save, and then a battle for it. And now things get physical out front as they're trying to protect Winnicky. Things separate pretty quickly there. Let's see if we'll have a penalty coming out of this. It looks like Edina at least will get one.
One's going to get one here.
I don't know if they're taking one aside or not, though. It looks like not. Yeah, it looks like Rugemer's going to go.
Well, it was an obvious cross-check in front where he knocked the defenseman down there. Because I think there's some hard feelings there. I don't think the Hornets really appreciated that hit from behind. Yeah, but both these teams tend to be pretty disciplined. I know they'll calm down and start playing hockey now, but boy, that was a big penalty, Jay, right there. That got Maple Grove off the hook a little bit.
And looking at that again, not to say that Rugemer maybe didn't deserve a penalty, but it almost seemed like they were kind of battling and he was sort of penalized because he won the little joust. Yep. He ended up knocking the player over where they're kind of both going at each other a little bit. I almost think maybe to a degree if Maple Grove wasn't already shorthanded that might have been one aside thing. There you see, because he got hit from behind a little bit right there and then he pushed and ended up knocking Dahlquist over. So.
I think you're absolutely right. I think you're right on the money.
Stopped there by Elias for Maple Grove. Pass ahead, jabbed away from Jacobs. Tip back into the Crimson zone where Elias will pursue it here. A lot of open ice to work with, of course, here with the 4-on-4. The one thing that's changed, a couple of years back now, they went to a standard size rink here on Rink A at Plymouth. Used to be the Olympic. I found that kind of interesting, the way the trend, because, going back to when this building was built and a little before, there's Boltman a chance and a penalty coming up on Maple Grove. The rebound try he was hooked at, and so Maple Grove's going to be penalized. Boltman controlling it behind the net. As they get the extra attacker out there, Edina does. And now we'll get our play stopped, and we'll probably have a hook or a hold. Yeah, going to be a hooking call against the Crimson. I was starting to say that the Olympic-sized rink was kind of the big new thing in the direction that everybody was going, and now it seems to have kind of fallen out of favor. Well,
the NHL is refusing to go to an Olympic-sized sheet because it takes too many seats out of the arena, and if the NHL doesn't do it, frankly, they're going to come back down and play at a regular-sized arena. But yet our two college teams, or Minnesota and Wisconsin, both have Olympic-sized hockey rinks too. But
Kukkonen will pick up the penalty, but I think you could put that in the category of a good penalty because I think Boltman was probably going to put that rebound away if he didn't lift his stick and get his arm from behind there a little bit.
Well, instead of now a major with 5 minutes, now they're going to be two men down here in about 35 seconds.
4-on-3 power play here for Edina. Carried into the zone here.
Nice.
Weighted and drops it back now. Boltman firing, and Winnicky able to make a glove catch. Boltman was trying to time that one out so that Clark was going to be right in his line of sight as he cut across. Bothered him out front.
Winnicky did a nice job, though, getting out on top of the crease so he wasn't sitting back to let that deflection change it too much without it hitting his body first. Coach Berglund having a little conference with the referee.
And he is not happy about... I think it seemed as though he was saying, we're the home team, we should have last change there.
Yeah.
And they were at first not allowing that.
Yeah, you want to get Sam Jacobs back out on the ice for sure.
Coming over with an explanation for each bench, and you can see Coach not able to hear from back there, so coming up a little closer to get the word.
I wish Coach Giles would stop looking so flustered. Yeah. By God.
He's pretty well got the same expression, whether they're ahead or behind or no matter how the game's going, it seems.
He's an absolute delight to talk to before the games.
Yeah, and we both found it interesting and kind of cool that he was very excited to have a lot of new guys to work with this year. You know, obviously you enjoy a season like last year where they were just loaded with talent and they ended up winning the state title. It goes without saying that that's your goal, but to have a chance to see some younger guys come in and work with them and have to do some different things to work for your wins and not just out-talent everybody, he's excited about that.
Oh, his face just lit up, you know, he was smiling, and I haven't seen him smile that big in a long time. And yeah, you're right. That's kind of cool, though. That's why he's a good coach. 5-on-3
now for Edina, and for nearly a minute of that, they've got a great opportunity to take the lead here. Boltman's shot is knocked down.
Bad choice.
Back out top, and they work it around. This one fired, and it deflects just wide. Boltman trying to force the defenseman to commit to him a little bit there. Or the forward, I guess it would be actually, and Jacobs. There's a shot knocked down. Battle to the corner. Hornets emerge with it. Shot fired, and Winnicky the stop there on him at worst. And 10 seconds to go in one penalty, 8 to go in the other. Maple Grove is coming close to killing this off.
Well, there was like the bottom of that triangle in the penalty kill did a great job of clearing out the front. Winnicky saw that shot coming at him, no problem, and nobody in the way. And that's credit to the Maple Grove defense in that, especially when they're outnumbered. And you're right, they've just about killed this off.
To the top, and that shot is blocked. Nice block by Hicks. And now here's an opportunity for Kukkonen just out of the box, and he fires high. Maple Grove back to full strength. So they've killed all that mess off. Nelson stepped in to break it up and then chipped in by Hicks. Kukkonen winning the battle to get free for that one. Kukkonen drops it back. Nelson shot, and that hit a defenseman out front worst. Half minute to go here in the opening period.
Where the Crimson just looks at, okay, now we can stretch our legs and start skating again. We don't have to worry about the extra man.
Yeah, Kukkonen, after he had some time to sit there, he came out flying, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Here's a long high drive off Hogg's glove. Now the rebound loose. Kukkonen firing Hogg the save. Then it comes out front again, and Hogg bats it up in the air and snatches it.
He hasn't seen too much action here in the past 5 minutes or so, and all of a sudden, wham. Did a nice job of keeping good position, but boy, I'll tell you, in tight shots. Edina's got to get a little more physical defensively in front there. They can't let those guys just line up a shot like that. With the exception of Boatman and Williams for the Hornets, they're pretty young on D.
And that one knocked down. Couple seconds to go, thrown out front, and the time is going to run out, and then a little check right at the whistle thrown there by Jimmy Clark, but everybody will separate, and we have played a pretty entertaining first period of hockey. How about if every period this whole season was like this, Dan, for these teams? This is a outstanding first period of play here. A lot of action back and forth.
You talk to the coaches, and I'll tell you what, they've gone through 2 weeks of practices. These kids have been playing each other, and they're sick and ding-dang tired of it. So playing another team, especially a really good team, both coaches got to be extremely pleased with the performance of their players. This was good, hard, fast-pitch hockey. It was wonderful to watch.
And obviously, even though it is opening night, you got a pretty big crowd. You have high expectations for both teams. They know the other team is good too, so if you're going to be up for a game like this for sure, and we're seeing that. And penalties a little bit of a concern for Maple Grove. They took 3 of them, including a major, but other than that, a lot of good things to like, I think, for both the teams as well, and obviously some things to work on too when you get down to the end of the opening period. You got a lot of things to talk about in that locker room, and it'd be interesting to see too what kind of shape, as the game goes on. You got so much adrenaline early, but whose legs and whose lungs are a little tired in that third period might show up too.
Get the orange peels out and the Gatorade flying in the locker rooms, and you were saying too about the penalties and stuff. That stuff you can fix in between periods. Get them calmed down. I think a lot of it was adrenaline and stuff. Okay, you played a period, now let's go play our game and stay out of the box and see what we can do. So I'm still expecting this to be a close game all the way through. We're at 1-1 right now, and I don't think anybody's going to get to 5 goals here. Both goalies look pretty sharp right now, and but the aggressiveness has been really good.
Let's go down ringside now to the third member of our team, John Jacobson.
Coach, you gave up an early goal on a defensive mistake, but after that you come back and tie it, and I thought played pretty well from there on out. What were your thoughts in the first period of the season?
Well, I hate to disagree with you, but it was...
Go ahead.
It was a little bit scrambly, you know. The kids are getting their feet underneath them, trying to figure out who's who and who does what. So it's going to be scrambly for a little while until we get a little bit of an identity of how we're going to play, where we play in different areas of the rink. So it's kind of a little bit of what you expected. We expected a little bit more on a compete level, but we'll get going here.
A lot of guys this year on your team that don't have a ton of varsity experience, even though you have several seniors. How is that to coach this group?
I love it. You know, it's a lot of fun. You know, I mean, we get great kids. They work hard. They're respectful. So it's our responsibility to try and get these kids in the right spot at the right time. And as long as we get a good effort and stuff like that, we should be okay.
You know, we've asked you this in the past, but every team wants to win 2 games this weekend. But what's the ultimate goal for a coach in the first couple games of the season, playing against competition like this?
Well, you know, we're very fortunate to come up here and play against competition like this. I mean, that's a really good Maple Grove team. The Wayzata team and the Moorhead team are very, very good teams as well, too. That's kind of what you look forward to. You look forward to go through the tryout process and you pick your teams and you try and get set a little bit and you try and get going forward. But the true test is when you get a chance to play against competition like this, and it's really good for us.
Thanks for your time. Good luck the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Tonight.
Thanks.
Kurt Childs, head coach of the Edina Hornets. It's 1-1 after one period in the Turkey Trot Boys Hockey Tournament semifinal between Edina and Maple Grove. Back with more of our first intermission from the Plymouth Ice Center after this.
When I never graduated from high school, I realized I wanted to go back to school because I didn't want to work these back-breaking jobs the rest of my life. With the help of my father and having my son, that was all the motivation that I needed to come back to school. I felt accomplished, made me feel that I could take on whatever challenges life throws at you.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
You can achieve a lot using your imagination. I mean, I don't like to brag, but... Wait, who's that? And why is she all over these achievement awards? But with STEM, the sky's the limit. Shaboom! Use STEM to envision... Okay, I'm seeing it. Yeah! Invent...
Got any ideas?
I've got a few, actually. And create a better world.
Told you she's super smart.
If she can STEM, so can you. Find out more at She Can STEM.
Welcome back. Getting the toga fixed up and ready to go here. That's all part of it here at Turkey Trot. Well, we've had such a great fall season of CCX sports teams. Next week, we're going to have the Prep Bowl Class 6A final is Champlain Park Wayzata, so 2 teams from our viewing area. We also had a couple of state champion teams in big sports. That includes Maple Grove girls soccer. They won their first ever state championship this fall, and a couple of players from that team are standing by now with John.
We're back at the Plymouth Ice Center at the Turkey Trot Boys Hockey Tournament for 2019. Maple Grove and Edina tied 1-1 through one period. John Jacobson now joined by a couple of Maple Grove seniors who were soccer players and state champions. Lauren Bredensteiner and Luca Ralph. Just over 3 weeks ago, the Crimson won the state tournament. First of all, congratulations to both of you ladies. And Lauren said you've had a little time to let it sink in now. What does it feel like 3 weeks past?
It feels awesome. I'm so happy that we finally did it. It's always been a dream of mine to win the state champion. And after that moment, I literally could not have been more proud and happier of my team. And it's still today, I'm still so happy about it. And I'm so proud to represent Maple Grove soccer.
You knew you would have a good team coming into the season, but I don't know if anybody thought you were necessarily going to be state champions. What was it that got it done for you ladies this year?
A big thing was our team chemistry and bond. We are so closely bonded. And last year we had tons of good, strong players. And we thought it was going to be hard because because we're going to be missing good spots. But after we worked our butt off together, and it worked out in the end.
You had a couple of close calls there in the section tournament, right? Moorhead and St. Michael Albertville, both one-goal games. So how intense were those games?
Well, we came in there knowing that like we can't take anything for granted. Like we need to play our hardest, and like during that moment, we had to fight our hardest to win because we knew it was down to these seconds, the last important seconds that we needed to score.
You're a senior. What are your plans for next year?
I'm not playing college, but I think I might be going to Iowa State. I'm looking into. Yeah.
Great way to finish your high school career, right?
Yeah, it was awesome. I'm so happy.
Congratulations again.
Thank you.
Luca Ralph, another Crimson senior, and what was the moment like for you right after that game when you guys won and all of a sudden like, hey, we're state champions?
Oh my goodness, so I started crying. It was just so many rush of emotions, and it was really exciting. I know like first thing I did was just run and hug my teammates. It was such a team effort, and it was so exciting.
They're great to win one for the program too. I mean, you've been in the state tournament the last 3 years, and Maple Grove's had a lot of great teams, terrific players through the years, and finally you're the team that breaks through for all the girls that have come before you, right?
Yes. I know, like we have Natalie was our assistant coach, and she was an alum, and I know as soon as we won, we were getting texts and messages from all the past players, and it was really exciting that we could bring it home for our city and for all the past players that worked really hard for the program.
How about the championship game itself? What was the kind of the turning moment for you, your team, do you feel?
I don't know. I think honestly, it was just at the start of the game was really hectic, and Centennial was coming at us really hard. But once we found our rhythm, we were moving the ball, we got our first goal in. It really kind of flowed from there. Obviously, it was really intense the whole time because it's the state final. But overall, I think we found our rhythm, and that's what helped us get through.
Are you big hockey fans?
I am. My brother plays and my dad plays, so I love hockey.
And finally, what are your plans for next year, soccer and school-wise?
Next year, I'll be attending Kent State University to play soccer and study fashion design.
Great. Good luck next year, and congratulations to both of you.
Thank you.
Maple Grove girls soccer, Luca Ralph, Lauren Bredensteiner, and congratulations to that whole Crimson program, coaching staff, and soccer community for their state championship win in Class AA 3 weeks ago. We'll take a break. We'll come back with our second period of play. Edina, Maple Grove, more Turkey Trot Hockey Tournament on CCX after this.
My son Andrew was always a joy to be around. I always taught him to be accepting of other people. That's why when Andrew was suddenly fired from his teaching job for being gay, my heart just broke. As a parent, how do you prepare your child for something like that? I hope we get to a place where people will be treated with respect, equality, and love.
Welcome back. We are at the Plymouth Ice Center for 2019 CCX Media Turkey Trot Boys Hockey, the first intermission of our first game of the tournament. Edina and Maple Grove tied up at a goal apiece as we check out highlights from that opening period of play here. And there's Loudon Hogg has his ring around try blocked. Eventually it pops out front, and Chris Kernan puts it away. Only a minute 59 into the game for Maple Grove as you get a look at it again. Kukkonen forced to turn over. Jacobs put it out front. Kernan puts it away. And the Crimson had a 1-0 lead. Edina battling back here, though, as the turnover forced and pumped in there by Alex Illies. And then they had a lot of chances after that, mainly courtesy of some penalties taken by Maple Grove. And you get another look at that goal as the turnover forced behind the net. And the penalties were an issue. You see the shots, ultimately, I was kind of a little surprised at how lopsided it is, but then when you think of how much power play time they had, but we heard Kurt Giles say he didn't think his team played all that well in the first period. And, you maybe would have liked to capitalize a little more on the penalties, including that time when they had the 5-on-3 and the major and all that. So, some things to work on, obviously. But overall, I thought a pretty good period by them. Maple Grove, I thought when it was 5-on-5, they were pretty good. But obviously when you spend as much time as they did shorthanded, that can be a little difficult to overcome.
Well, they definitely got some practice on the penalty kill, that's for sure. And I'm very number of variety of ways. But, I think Coach Giles is talking about when you have the puck, are you in the right place? Are you ready to dish a pass off? Or do you know where your teammate is? And, first game of the season, some of that stuff isn't going to click. And I think Maple Grove clicked a little bit better knowing where each other was, especially in the attack zone. But I think that's what Coach Giles is talking about, just kind of moving it around and being in the right place at the right time. And it's only the first period of hockey. Let's see what happens in the next two, see if they pick that up a little bit. Because if they do, they're going to be very scary.
See, 1-1 as we begin period number 2. We're 5 aside here to start this second period. Hornets with it early, but then Nelson got a piece of that, and Kukkonen picks it up. Kukkonen ran into a check there, but it's advanced by Sam Jacobs, and then he was drilled right in front of the Maple Grove bench. And Coach Giles used the word, I wanted to see a better compete level, and that might have been a message that he was passing along to his guys. Oh boy, there's a turnover and a chance, and Hogg making a great stop there for the Hornets as Edina nearly coughed one up into the net there as Crimson got a great opportunity really on the first shift of the second period. Check thrown there as the puck dumped out. It's going to be icing against Edina, and we will head back into the Hornets' end of the rink. This is a little bit how the first period began too, with Maple Grove playing well. As you see right there, they just left the puck, dumped ahead, and it's really a 2-on-1 Kukkonen, but then the puck really kind of fanned on by Kernan there. I mean, it got to the net, but it wasn't, it was not really so much of a big save as that he mostly whiffed on that one. Yeah. It still had enough that it probably would have gone in if Hogg didn't get there, but yeah, he would like to have that one to do again for sure.
Again, we're looking at that situation where, it's the first game of the season. All of a sudden, bam, the puck's right there. What am I going to do?
Tipped in by Emmett Wurst. Back to get it is Wente for Maple Grove. Parker Wente controlling. Does a nice job working through neutral. Now drops the pass back, and a blocker save there on the attempt by Leafblad. Crimson trying to get it set up in the offensive zone here. Cal Thomas across. That one deflected on the way in. Check thrown there, and the Hornets get it out to center anyway. Wente picking it up there. Puck knocked down. And thrown back into the Edina zone. Haug leaving it. Now pass ahead to Mark Overman. Looking to Jackson Borst. Borst spinning in the corner. That puck off a skate, and the turnaround try there. Winnicky is stopped. Now controlled at center as Clark stepped through. Clark does not look like a freshman out there, does he? He's a good size, good skill, number 17.
Good skater too, very good strong, but I think one of the things we're looking at too, Jackson Borst and Grant Morton for Edina have got to start stepping up. Two of their better players coming back from last year. We haven't really called their name too much. Boltman we stepped up with, but you expect your top guys to kind of pick it up here, especially in the first parts of the season.
Face off in the Crimson zone here. Kukkonen's lined back out. He'll face off Cole Kavanaugh. Dumped out and all the way down the rink here. Haug is going to cover that one up. Took a little tap there, and Edina took note of that. As you get a look at the Turkey Trot past champions, we've had a wide variety here. 4 different winners of the 4 teams in the last 4 years, with Maple Grove winning it for the second time last year. And Edina won it 3 of the previous 6 years before that. There's a shot knocked down at the point. Nelson, though, quickly recovers. That's the thing when you're a defenseman, you get your shot blocked, you kind of get that brief moment of panic as you think it might be coming back the other way. Here's Kavanaugh trying to go to the net, lost possession, and then runs into Winnicky, who gives him a shove. And now the net has come off.
Yeah, goalies don't like that too much when you get right up in the rail, you know what I mean? So I took a little pushback on it. Could have been close to goaltender interference, too. But I think that's compete. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Off the draw, Hornets win it. Quick shot on net, and Winicky was ready. As nice face-off win, and then Grant Morton, who you just mentioned, had his stick in the right spot and was ready and loaded to shoot that puck.
Very quick release, and it got right on the goalie right off the bat.
Illy's trying to do the same again. Morton coming up with it, puts it out front and swept out of there, but not out of the zone. Tapped across. Worst putting it out front. Redirect by Illies went just wide as he made a bid for his second of the night. Now dumped back into the Edina zone. Wyatt Worst back for it. Deflecting over now, and the Hornets on the breakout. Coming up left side is Morton. Morton trying to thread it through there for Boltman. Boltman, a defenseman, obviously not afraid to join the rush. He has had a lot of puck possession time in the offensive zone here tonight. He's a good one. Now Hornets free it up. Pass there. Good work behind by Morton, who's had a great shift. I think he might have heard you, Dan.
Yep. He's really put it on.
Rolled down the rink, and an icing call here against the Crimson.
I'm just wondering how much gas Boltman's going to have at the end of the game here. The last 5 minutes, he's just been flying. It's been fun to watch. So Edina coming back here now. Got pushed back a little bit in the beginning of this period, but all of a sudden they're back in the rails. Boy, I'll tell you, they're coming after Maple Grove.
Puck blocked, and here comes Leaf Flad. And it just rolled away from Grant Zick. Zick now chasing it down. Trying to work his way out of the corner as he's pinned there. Now the Hornets able to get possession and eventually out. Overman playing it off the wall here. Cal Thomas had the inside lane on that one.
There's Jackson Borstel all of a sudden putting a heavy forecheck on.
Rolls out to neutral there, where it's picked up by Owen Davis. Pass deflected and nearly taken. Now the Crimson up with it. That shot was blocked, and that one seemed to hurt Mark Overman a little bit as he was down on the ice and blocked that shot, and it goes up out of play, so both teams getting a change here. 12:29 to go in the second. Still 1-1 as you get a look at that rip and off the shin pad there, or at least hopefully mostly shin pad, as Parker Winnie's drive was teed up by Overman.
Trust me, it still stings. Yeah, a little bit of a turnover there by Owen Davis of the Hornets, and got to be careful clearing that zone. Anything within 10 feet of that blue line, you got to get it out and across, otherwise a transition will turn it, which Maple Grove did that time.
Puck dumped in. Oh, look at that bounce as it comes right out front. Winicky had no idea, and then it's jabbed in. Scoring is Jimmy Clark for Edina as the Hornets, ultimately the big beneficiary of a crazy bounce. Winicky had no idea that the puck had bounced out front. They didn't put it in immediately, but then Clark was kind of Johnny on the spot there and able to put that one away. I don't even think even he realized that it had gone in initially. Watch the way this puck caroms.
Well, here's what we're talking about. Bad carom there that nobody saw coming. Winicky was there, but then Clark just got in, trailing in at the right moment, being in the right place at the right time, got a backhand.
So Maple Grove kind of feeling like maybe a little bit of a fluke there as it took that bounce, but they did really have time to recover, but just didn't quite do it.
Too many guys facing the back of the net toward the puck. Not somebody wasn't covering the trailer. We saw that first Maple Grove goal get scored like that.
Gunnar Johnson will get the lone assist on the goal by Clark. And it's funny, coaches at all levels of hockey talk about it, though, that you have to get some of those kind of goals too. They're not all going to be top shelf on a 2-on run rush or something like that. Sometimes you're just in the right spot and you get to where you need to be, and that was the case for Clark on that one. Now here comes Kukkonen up the right side. Good recovery defensively there by Johnson as Kukkonen looked like he had a step on him for a moment. Boy, the hitting has really picked up here. Now here comes the Maple Grove with Jacobs. And to put that one out front, Hogg now will scoop it up. And then Kukkonen has bounced around a little bit as he is alongside the net. A couple guys kind of squaring off. I wouldn't be surprised if we see some more penalties here in the second period. The intensity is heating up.
Well, you can play with intensity without taking penalties. Use your heads. Be disciplined. Neither one of these teams wants to give a power play to the other team because they're both very proficient at it. So, you know, play smart. Play hard, but play smart.
Ooh, a deflection there, and Hogg with a big stop. And it rolls loose in front again, and then the rebound try goes wide. Hogg scrambling there, made a nice save on that deflection on the first one. Now here's a shot, and that one bouncing toward the corner. Maple Grove, a big sense of urgency on this shift. They are coming after it. Now it comes out, Oakland back to get it. Oakland chopped at there by Matt Mason. Nice job by Wurst to get to that puck, but here come the Crimson. Nelson firing, and that one will go wide. Long carom comes the other way. Overman for Edina. Overman lost it briefly, then his pass is blocked. Back out to the point. Boltman will swing it across. And then a tip, but they don't get it out. Boltman able to relay it down toward the corner. Out front, a nice little spin in traffic there by Borst. And now controlled by Gunderson for Maple Grove. They'll drop it back to Elias and tipped into the Hornet zone.
Well, Borst Jr. had a little talking to, I think, in between periods. He's starting to step up his game big time.
Flip back across now for Leafblad. And into the Hornet zone. Under 10 minutes to go now in the second period. Edina leading Maple Grove 2-1. A turnover behind the net, but it just rolled away. Russ couldn't quite control it. Dumped into the Crimson zone. There is another bad carom, and this time Winnicky was more ready for it. I don't know if he died. I'm guessing it's just kind of the luck of the draw, but it almost looks like they were hitting the right sweet spot there to get that puck to bounce out front. There's a look at that stop. Boy, a bouncing puck when it changed direction like that, Hogg. That's where, you know, really being squared up and ready to go makes you a save.
I like the fact that Edina was really pushing on bodies there too, and kept him from getting Maple Grove from getting a clean look on that puck and getting a good stick on it. Good defense by the Hornets.
That one deflected away. Hornets pick it up. Back out to the point now. Gunnar Johnson had it, lost it. Thrown back in by the Hornets. Wente back to play it here for Maple Grove, being pursued by Clark. Jacobs putting it out front. Kukkonen trying to get control. Dumped down to the corner there by Thomas. Crimson working hard on this shift. Jacobs back, and that one deflecting wide. Pass, he tried to reverse it, and it was blocked by Kukkonen. Hornets in some trouble just trying to get this puck out. Thrown wide of the net. Another one thrown to the front. Hogg with a stop there. There've been plenty of traffic in front of him, but he saw enough of it to block it. Hornets getting a badly needed change. Maple Grove trying to catch them, and here they come. Kukkonen, and a good recovery to get a stick on that one by Owen Davis. Just for a moment, it looked like Edina was going to be caught in a change that was going to hurt him. As puck came quickly back up ice with Kukkonen, but great hustle and skating ability by Davis to get there.
Good eyes by the defense for Maple Grove there, calling the eagle. They call that an eagle play where you just fly a guy up and try to catch him, and they almost caught him.
That's where, you know, there's so many little things in terms of, you know, if you're Edina there, getting that puck all the way deep so that you can complete that change without any difficulty. It didn't quite happen there, and it almost hurt him.
Well, the other part, I want to talk about the little crack on that one side down in the Maple Grove zone. We're going to see more of that. Don't think that the coaching staff at Edina said, you know, there's a spot there. If you roll it up against the rim, it'll come out in front. And it's twice we've seen that. I guarantee you we'll see it some more.
Little battle after the play there. Back into the Hornet zone we come with 8 minutes to play in the middle period. 2-1 Edina. It was 1-1 after one. And the Hornets freshman Clark has gotten the only goal of the second after a carom that Dan just talked about, a dump in that went wildly off course. At least if you're Winnicky, that's the way it sure felt. Turnaround try here is knocked down. Kevin Enriquez getting it ahead. Shot here was blocked, and then the rebound knocked aside by Dahlquist. Dahlquist is knocked down as he played it over to the corner. And more so than ever now in the second period, you better be ready to be hit if you got the puck, or you just release the puck, and no matter where you are on the ice, no matter which color sweater you're wearing, you better be ready because they're hitting. Pass out front, and that one bounces away. Stanson up with it, and quite honestly, probably game 2 will be even more of a hitting game, I would think, based on what Moorhead and Wayzata hockey normally play like.
Yeah, I think you're right there. This has been an annual thing with Wayzata and Moorhead. They play each other every year, and last year the Trojans beat them 5-0, so they'll remember that.
See, some of the guys from both teams are loosening up down in the corners. That was Moorhead we saw there, and we're seeing Wayzata on the other side throwing a football around a little bit and getting themselves loosened up for it as well. And Moorhead coming into this tournament, I think, was kind of a chain reaction thing where Wayzata's been playing them every year, but they've got 4 more games because of 2 new teams coming into the Lake Conference, St. Michael, Albertville, and Buffalo. So they were going to have to maybe not have Moorhead on their schedule anymore. So they said, well, let's do this. We'll work it so that Moorhead can come down and get 2 games and be in this Turkey Trot tournament.
And every coach here in this tournament is tickled to death they're in the tournament, too. They love playing more. There's that Karam again. Now, that wasn't on purpose, but they'll work it.
Shot attempt there, and solid check thrown by Skansen. Now back out to the point. Boltman walking in, and he tried to go top corner there and missed the net. Hornets come away with it again. Now back across. Boltman shooting. Oh, and a skate save on the deflection as Winicky had to kick out that right leg after the puck changed direction. Both teams are really doing their best to create havoc in front. Solid hit thrown there by Elias. Puck freed up, and Emmett Wurst up with it. Back out to the point, and it hops away from Wyatt Wurst, and he'll have to track it down. Right up the middle with the pass, tipped on in by Willie Johnson. Edina, one of those teams that legitimately sometimes will skate 4 lines. I mean, most high school teams, they might say they're gonna or they want to or whatever, and they really don't, but a lot of times Edina really will.
Yep.
And that obviously speaks a lot to the depth in their program. You couldn't afford to do that otherwise. Oh, there's a goal. Oh, no goal. Puck played by a high stick. Yep. AJ Dahl, it ended up going in ultimately, and I think what Dahl was saying is that it wasn't actually hit by the high stick, hit his body, but that's not the way they're going to rule it. The officials getting together to discuss it, though. The first one went off of Winicky. You see that crazy Karam off his shoulder. Oh, and it went off a Maple Grove stick. And so it is going to count as a goal, and I think rightly so, as we saw it again there. It was the Crimson that knocked it in, so it will be a goal for Edina.
Well, I sure am glad we're sitting in front of a monitor to see the replay.
Watch the stick that hits it here. It looks like it's Maple Grove's stick. Right there,
yep.
Yeah, definitely.
Defenseman.
Yeah, Jonathan Hallstrom knocked that one in. So the Hornets will get another somewhat fluky goal. I shouldn't say somewhat. That one definitely was. Not sure if who they'll end up crediting that one to.
It should be Dahl. He was the closest one to it.
So a 3-1 lead for the Hornets. The first one nearly went in. It went off Winicky's shoulder, popped up in the air. Good piece of officiating to get together there. I think, not everybody saw it immediately, and quite honestly, like you said, Dan, we weren't sure the first time whose stick that was that hit it.
We're all kind of boggled by it coming off of Winicky's shoulder there, and all of a sudden it was in the net. But boy, Maple Grove's got to pick it up a little bit now. 2 goals against this team.
It will be Dahl getting credit for that one for the Hornets, so they go up by a 3-1 count. They have outshot Maple Grove 23-8, and obviously Edina hockey, defending state champion, they're always good. They got as good a history as anybody. But Maple Grove, I mean, if you look at the rankings early this year, Navy were considered the favorite coming in, but it isn't shaping up that way, at least at the moment.
Well, the way too early, hockey rankings that we saw at Hockey Hub had Maple Grove number 2 in the state and Edina number 9.
Well, there's Maple Grove getting on the board for the second time, and it's Kernan again.
Kernan again? Boy, that was a beauty. There's no fluke about that. Edina's defense fell asleep there. Kernan find a gap in there. The puck got to him, and he didn't waste any time in burying that bad boy.
Hornets turning it over.
Number 2 got caught way out of position.
Jacobs will get the assist.
Well, there's Boltman. All of a sudden, you're good offense, but you got to play some defense. That wasn't paying attention. Kernan got in there and buried it. That was a big goal right there, Jay. That was huge for the Crimson.
Boy, they really needed that one.
Yeah.
And they answered so quickly, too. I mean, all of a sudden, they're right back to within a goal.
That's one thing I love about this tournament, too. A lot of people, Edina can win games just on the fact that they're Edina. They can intimidate. The three teams in this tournament are not intimidated by the Hornets.
Flip down the rink, and this will be icing against the Hornets, so we will come back into Edina's zone. 4:34 to go here in the second, and all of a sudden a little flurry of goals, one for each side, and we are at 3-2 Hornets.
I think Coach Bergen wants to win this game. He's working that bench, and he's coaching it up big time, taking notes, talking to kids, patting them on the back.
Back out to the point, knocked away. Oh, and nearly a breakaway chance there for the Hornets. They've still got numbers up front. Pass drop back. Good recovery, though, to get back in and help break it up there by Cal Thomas. That one almost was big trouble there as it was tipped around the defenseman by, I believe it was Emmett Wurst.
That could have been ugly.
Off the draw, Hornets control it. They've been pretty good on faceoffs here tonight. That one deflected away. Big check thrown there by Borst. Borst comes up with it again, and now we've got a whistle to stop play and a penalty coming up. This is going to be a holding call against Maple Grove, it looks like. And let's see if they're taking...
Leafblad's going to win.
No, I'm sorry.
No, it's Edina.
Overman will go for a hold. Watch right there. Gets the left hand up around the head. Yep.
Yeah, that'll kind of do it. Definitely a hold. Well, golden opportunity for the Crimson here with 4:06 left in the game. Or in the period, I'm sorry.
So they get their power play set up. Nelson firing. That one hits traffic in front, and that hurt. Boltman's going to hobble toward the bench.
No, he isn't.
Yeah, he's staying out. You're right. Oakland carrying it here. Oh, Maple Grove nearly offside there. Kept in. They go D to D here. Nelson swinging it around the horn. Puck keeps moving. Back into the circle. Shot. Trickles in the circle. We are tied up. Jacobs nudging it the final few feet. Or no, Kukkonen going to get it. It looks like it went all the way through. Jacobs was right there, but it looked like maybe he didn't need to knock it in as it was already trickling in, and it is a 3-3 hockey game.
Hogg just kind of got tightened up there halfway in between limbo here. He makes the initial save, or it deflects off his pad, and he didn't see it get by him.
Looked like Jacobs actually really did knock that one in, but they were congratulating Kukkonen. So, yeah, I don't think that puck was over the line yet when Jacobs made contact, but
I don't think they really care right now. They got this game tied up, man. That's all they care about. Boy, what a nice comeback by the Crimson here. Boy, they get down by 2 goals, one on the fluke, and they've just kept right at it and got right back into the grill of the Hornets, and they're really making a game of it now. Another icing.
Yeah, it is Jacobs that gets the goal.
Okay.
And Kukkonen the assist there, so correctly so. I thought so initially, and I thought, well, maybe it had crossed the line because they it's become tradition for the goal scorer to be the first to the bench to get the congratulations, and that was Kukkonen, but it's Jacobs who nudged it in that final foot or two. Might have gone in anyway, but you don't know that, so you got to go for it.
They broke tradition. That's not good in hockey. We don't like breaking tradition in hockey.
Well, I'm guessing Kukkonen didn't really even know. He thought his shot had gone in. Here's an opportunity, a shot the other way. Wow, a 2-on-1, and Boris sent it over the net. Now knocked down in front. Bodies flying everywhere. On his backside there was Oakland out in the slot. Now he gets up and controls the puck here for Maple Grove. Oakland trying to play it in, but it's knocked down. Good pushback here from Maple Grove as they were down 3-1 and have now tied it up, and Winneke fights that one off. Centering pass knocked down. This one will bounce wide of the net. Played to the corner there, and the Crimson able to bank it on out, but it's going to be an icing here against Maple Grove. And we'll head back to the other end with 2 minutes to play here in this second period. An eventful period. It was 1-1 for a long time, and then 2-1 Edina for a while, and then 3-1 Edina, and the Crimson coming back with 2 goals less than 2 minutes apart to tie it up.
Well, you know, the defensive errors and a fluke goal have changed things around. But what I'm impressed with both teams, they may get down, they all fight back. I mean, they're answering back when they got hit in the mouth. Uh-oh.
Gunderson chasing it, now circling around, but puck stolen, and here come the Hornets back the other direction. Morton dropping it over toward Illies. They lose it there. Boltman coming away with it. Boltman going to the net, and Illies jamming at it from in close, but Winneke the stop. Jacobs carrying it, and it looked like a stick might have got up on him a little bit, but no call. Crimson trying to set it up. Things a little bunched up. They get it back to Nelson. Jacobs pushes it out front. Oh, and an opportunity there for Kernan looking for the hat trick.
Oh, Jacobs got nailed with a big cross check in the back there. Edina got away with one.
Boltman's pass deflected by Nelson. Hornets able to come up with it. Oh, a great wraparound move there by Clark. Under a minute to play in the period. The hitting is picked up. The pace is flying. Here's a chance. Oh, and Winneke with a tremendous stop there on Dahl. Point shot here, deflecting wide. Comes loose alongside the net. Played to the corner. And Williams able to knock it down. Not quite keep it in, but he circles back and attacks again. Out front, and it deflects right to Winneke. Under a half minute to play in the period, and wow, fans are getting their money's worth here in this first game.
Well, the Hornets answering right back after getting pushed on real hard by the Crimson. I mean, wow. You know, and we're really seeing some outstanding play. I mean, Boltman is just unbelievable. He's just been everywhere and everything for the Hornets right now. I'm really impressed with the way he's playing. Boris has stepped up. Kukkonen has stepped up. Jacobs has stepped up. All the guys that now you're saying they were the leaders last year, they got to be the leaders this year. They're stepping up and making plays.
Crimson able to break it out here. Dumped on in. Under 15 seconds to play in the period. Hornets get it out to center anyway, and now a follow-up, but running into traffic there was Overman. And that's going to about do it for period number 2 in another eventful period as Edina scored the first 2 goals of the period to go up 3-1. And even though they were sort of unusual goals, it sort of felt like they were in control at that point, but didn't take long for Maple Grove to come right back and get not just the one, but the second goal as well to make it a 3-3 game here, Dan. And wow, there's a lot of action going on here on this opening night.
Yeah, Crimson, pardon the interruption. We're going to stop your gateway to winning this game. It's been great. I mean, the intensity, the speed, the answers back. Nobody's taking a back seat. They're fighting hard on every shift, and we're kind of watching these teams grow. Got physical that period, much more so in the first period. How many penalties did we see?
Just the one.
Just the one. Just the one penalty. That's all. So they're learning how to play within that physicality, and I don't know. It's a little sloppy, but I'll tell you what, both coaches, again, got to be pleased with what they're seeing. These teams are coming out and playing hard hockey.
And I think you're seeing, too, the kind of the evolution with Maple Grove. There was a few years ago when it probably wouldn't have really suited their interest to try to go toe-to-toe and skate in an open, fast-paced game with Edina.
You're right.
But now they're to the point where they say, yeah, we can do that. We've got the talent and the depth to be able to do that, and that's the way we want to play. We want to get after them. We want to be gritty, but we can go up and down with anybody.
Yeah, and I think that's what the coaches brought to them, too. They got the skilled players. Now we're going to skate and play the game. Don't have to worry about being roughhousers or gritty or type players. We can play the game with the Hornets, etc. So,
well, let's go down now to John, rinkside.
With Crimson head coach Todd Berglund. Coach, how important were those last 5 minutes of that period getting 2 goals to tie it up here?
Well, very important. I am just extremely pleased at how our kids battled back and down 3-1, and they never gave up, and that was the message on the bench. Keep battling, going after them. Good things are going to happen, and they did. So it was good to see. They didn't let down.
Not exactly easing into the season when you face defending state champions right off the bat, right?
I wouldn't have it either anyway. I mean, this is a great tournament. You guys do a great job, and I'm glad we got to meet up with Edina. Like you said earlier, we're the Turkey Trot champions, but they had a good year last year. They had an excellent team, and hats off to Kurt and Edina program for winning state, because it's not easy in this state. So.
I asked Coach O'Leary of Wayzata this last week, when you play already at the end of the second week of practice, what's the biggest challenge of getting everybody ready by, essentially day 9, day 10?
It's never really the conditioning part. I think it's more the system part and trying to jump right into power play, penalty kill, and getting used to that repetition there. That just comes so fast, and you wish you had a little extra time to go through the systems and make sure that they know the systems well.
Good luck in the third period and the rest of the season.
Thanks again, and thanks for all you guys do. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Todd Berglund, head coach of the Maple Grove Crimson. They are tied with Edina, 3-3 after 2 periods. First semifinal tonight of the 2019 CCX Turkey Trot Tournament. We're back with more from the Plymouth Ice Center after this timeout.
My son Andrew was always a joy to be around. I always taught him to be accepting of other people. That's why when Andrew was suddenly fired from his teaching job for being gay, my heart just broke. As a parent, how do you prepare your child for something like that? I hope we get to a place where people will be treated with respect, equality, and love.
Back in the Plymouth Ice Center through 2 periods. Maple Grove 3, Edina 3. Wayzata and Moorhead still to come here tonight on night 1 of the Turkey Trot Tournament. Joined now by Chick Pojar. He's a veteran boys hockey coach in the area. He's coached with a number of programs. Now an assistant at Osseo. And the Orioles will get their season started on Saturday afternoon. And Chick, first of all, welcome, and then tell us a little bit about Osseo hockey for 2019-2020.
Yeah, thanks for having me. No, we're real excited. We got a good group of young guys. We've got some seniors that have really made the next step. Kind of a gritty team. We're not an overly skilled group of guys, but they play hard, lunch pail hockey, as we like to say it. And we also have some freshmen playing varsity this year for us, and they show a lot of promise. So, yeah, we're excited to get started tomorrow.
You've got a son in the program. That's going to be fun too, right?
I do, yeah. He's a junior this year. He played varsity last year, and he's excited. He worked hard in the off season, so he's looking to make that next step and score some goals and hopefully help the team win some games.
Woodbury in the opener, have you been able to learn anything about them?
I don't know anything about them. I was looking at their record last year, and They didn't win a lot of games. We didn't win a lot of games, but that's fine. It's a new season. It's a new beginning for everybody, and you start the journey, and we try to get a win tomorrow and go from there.
You had some nice upgrades at your arena last year. How much do the kids enjoy that, and how good is it for the program?
Oh, I think it's great. We've got a brand new locker room. Everybody's got a stall. We've got the varsity and JV guys in the same room now, which is really, I think it's great, building that team camaraderie. They made some improvements to the inside of the arena over there at Osseo, so aesthetically, it looks nice, and it's a great place to play, and I think it's a tough place to play for visiting teams coming in. We call it the tin bin for a reason, and we hopefully make it tough on our opponents.
This is your second time with the Osseo program. You coached under Garrett Trot. How much do you just enjoy that whole Osseo environment and that arena and everything that's gone with the history of that Osseo program?
Yeah, no, I was with Garrett Trot from 2008, 7, 8, 9 basically, and was an assistant with Kevin Willie at the time. So Kevin and I go way back. Yeah, there's a good tradition there. I mean, Osseo hockey has produced a lot of players over the years, not only Division I players, but guys that went on to play pro hockey, and obviously Trent Klatt, in the NHL, and a few other guys. So there's a good tradition there. We'd like to see us get back to that, get some guys moving on to the next level. We've had a few over the past couple of years, and we're just trying to build the program and keep it going.
Chick, good to see you. Thanks for taking time, and good luck to the Orioles this season.
Thanks for having me.
Chick Bojar, assistant coach for the Osseo boys hockey team. They'll open up the season tomorrow afternoon, varsity at 3 o'clock at Dick Draw Arena. Take a break, come back, third period of play on the way. Maple Grove, Edina, Turkey Trot hockey continues after this.
This holiday season, unwrap the possibilities with a Simonson Salon and Spa experience. Unrivaled hair, face, body, nail services, and beauty products for you or anyone on your list. Spa packages start at only $148. A holiday-inspired bonus gift is yours with a qualifying in-store gift card purchase. Shop our irresistible boutique for trendy fashions, gifts, and accessories in Maple Grove, Plymouth, and Coon Rapids. For dazzling online gift certificates, visit simonsons.com.
When I never graduated from high school, I realized I wanted to go back to school because I didn't want to work these back-breaking jobs the rest of my life. With the help of my father and having my son, that was all the motivation that I needed to come back to school. I felt accomplished, made me feel that I could take on whatever challenges life throws at you.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Welcome back here to Plymouth Ice Center. CCX Media proud to host and bring you the Turkey Trot Tournament here 2019. Both nights of coverage here. We'll have all 4 games live for you on the web and on channels 799 and 12 here in the Northwest Metro. Edina 3, Maple Grove 3 as we get a look at second period highlights in this one, and it was the Hornets starting the scoring after a crazy bounce. Then it comes around out front and watch 17 jab at home. Clark burying his first goal for the Hornets. And it stayed 2-1 for a while. Then the puck pops up. Originally, this one was wiped out. They said played by a high stick, but as it turned out, it was a Maple Grove high stick that knocked it down and in. And so Edina does eventually get the goal. And then a turnover cost the Hornets. And Jacobs tapping it over there for Kernan to pump it in. And then they get another one as Jacobs knocks the rebound of the Kukkonen shot in. A power play goal there for the Crimson. There you see, camped alongside the net, reached out, knocks it in. And that is where we are at through 2 periods here. The shots still favoring. The shots in the second were pretty even, but it was lopsided for Edina in the first period. Slight edge and scoring chances for the Hornets, and then Maple Grove did not take a penalty in that second period, so obviously that helped them in making that comeback after playing a fair amount of the first period shorthanded.
Well, they focused on getting the puck to the net and getting some shots on net and changing that shots on goal disparity, and it paid off for them after being down 3-1, and they fought back really hard. Edina right now, I think they're going to have to regroup a little bit. I don't think they're expecting Maple Grove to come back after a 2-goal deficit. And it's a young team compared to the veteran teams we've seen with the Hornets before. So this will be a bit of a growing process for them, and we'll see how they react here in the third period to what happened to them. Maple Grove, I expect the intensity to stay where it's at and keep going. Just a few more veteran players they've got. Wenicky, probably not real happy that sloppy one went in. I think he's going to tighten it up.
Yeah, it's interesting because a couple of the goals were a little fluky, but at the same time, both goalies have made a couple of stops too, or that could have gone in as well. So it sort of balanced itself out. And obviously, we saw a defensive mistake or two that cost each team as well, particularly Edina. I think they had a couple of giveaways that led to some good chances that Loudon Hogg was probably thinking, that's the thing. You don't want to panic with the puck, but sometimes the better play is to, maybe just shuffle it off to the corner or just turn and eat it a little bit rather than do something that might give it away and give your opponent a chance.
Yeah, see how conservative he gets out there. They've talked about that in the locker room too. The other factor that we have here now, especially the first game of the season, is what are the legs going to look like near the end of the third period? Who's going to have legs up? Because you and I both agree that, the intensity in the skating has been there. There's been a lot of effort for 2 solid periods. No one's taken a break. No one's slowed down. So we'll see who has enough gas at the end of the game here.
Interesting that Coach Berglund was telling John between periods, though, that he said, in terms of what's hard about getting ready for this first weekend, he said, usually conditioning he doesn't feel is too much of an issue. The guys are playing so much hockey now. There's so much off-ice training and everything, too, that he doesn't feel that, that part of it's his biggest worry on opening weekend. Here we go in period number 3. Nelson throwing one on net. Hogg a little bit of trouble with it, and he'll just cover it up.
Yeah, the only thing I'd say about that, though, is all been practice and scrimmages and stuff. This is a game. It's a real game. They haven't played a 3-period full-tilt game since last year, and that can wear on you mentally as well as physically.
Yeah, and I think sometimes the opening night, hype and jitters and things can kind of subtly play a role in getting you tired a little bit quicker, too.
Absolutely.
Back out it comes. Nelson will shoot from the point, and it's a goal. Maple Grove's back in the lead. Nelson, I think, will get it as he appeared to thread that one through traffic without hitting anyone. And so Maple Grove will take a 4-3 lead. Well, earlier you said, I don't think anybody's going to get to 5. I'm not so sure now, the way things are looking, right?
Well, Lord knows I've been wrong before. I'm going to be wrong again. And, what the heck? Oh, what a shot. Hogg never saw it, Jay. He never saw it. It went high and kind of dipped in. Nice goal. Boy, that was a nice shot.
So Maple Grove strikes first here in the third, and now they're back in front for the first time since the first period.
There was a center breakout pass. Boy, you don't see a lot of those. That was a nice play by the D there by Maple Grove.
Kukkonen will get the assist on Nelson's goal. Zick getting it ahead, and it pops loose again. Zick throwing a check, trying to get that puck back. He was spun around hard.
Could have been a penalty. They got away with it.
Yeah, I think it could have been. Wente playing it back deep toward the corner. Maple Grove seems to have the momentum. I think it feels like it carried over from that second period a little bit.
Yep.
Battle forward here. Heavy check thrown. Thomas doing battle down deep there with Borst.
He just threw Borst about 10 feet off the puck.
Tipped around and trying to gain control there is Oakland. Now a little drop pass, and that shot was off a skate as Gunderson lined it up for Maple Grove. Then that one sails high. Back out comes Boltman to lead the rush for Edina. He'll chip it toward the corner. Boltman then throwing a serious check there. This one thrown back in, and Maple Grove will have to chase it down. Played behind the Crimson net. Hicks back for it. Barber had it knocked away. They can't quite get it out.
Jimmy Clark with a nice forecheck there. He got the puck off him, but Maple Grove got out.
Chopped away there as they try to come right through traffic. Now Dahlquist following up. Maple Grove changing behind him. Centering pass here. It'll come around to Nelson, and then he puts it out front, but broken up there by Wyatt Wurst. Morton had it taken from him. Nice play by Kukkonen.
You know, Kukkonen's all-around game has gotten better this year. He's playing very well defensively. We expect offense from him, but he's made a couple nice defensive plays tonight for the Crimson.
Chipped into the Maple Grove zone here. Nelson back to get it. Takes a check there and then played behind the net as Rugemer doing some good work for Edina. Here's Kernan. And a nice takeaway by Williams. Getting it ahead now to Overman and knocked back from him. Kukkonen chased back to the corner. Now Boltman. Boltman, plenty of time teeing it up, but he hits traffic in front. And now Jacobs out of there with it for Maple Grove. He'll throw it in. Couldn't get around Boltman to go get it. Williams picks it up for Edina. Now Boltman. Cross ice pass, tipped there by Overman, and slammed back out. Played back into the Crimson zone. Thomas ringing it around. Now Wente will reverse it right back the other way. And that pass doesn't connect, but it's going to come right in on Hogg. And he will stop it there as Leafblad was kind of lingering in the area, and Wyatt Wurst gave him a little shot.
Yeah, get out of here, really, you know? It's interesting watching Edina. Their spark just isn't quite there right now. They're attacking, but they're not getting any quality shots on goal, Jay. And Maple Grove's doing a good job of staying in control in their own zone. They're not panicking. They're playing good position.
Here's an opportunity for the Hornets, though. Clark's pass across, a return. Clark to the front. It was denied, but the rebound is knocked in. Edina will tie it up. A.J. Dahl. They stuck with it after Maple Grove fought off the initial rush, but it was still in a danger zone there and an open net basically, and Dahl able to pump it home for his second of the night.
Yeah, that was kind of a discombobulation here. Oh boy, the defense got beat badly. And Wenneke got strung out of position. He didn't maintain good position there. He got strung out. And Jimmy Clark just got it out of his grasp, and Dahl finished it.
Moorhead beating Wayzata 4-2 in the first JV game of the tournament over on Rink C. So Dahl will get the goal for the Hornets, and we are evened up at 4 apiece.
Sophomore stepping up for the Hornets here. That was a big goal for them, too. They were kind of drooping a little bit, I think, Jay.
Yeah, and it's interesting because Clark doesn't end up getting the goal, but just I thought he still showed pretty good poise in front of the net there, and he got Wenneke to sprawl. Yep, and even though he doesn't get the goal from it, his teammate did.
He just got out of Wenneke's control. He just made sure that it wasn't stopped. Big play.
Here comes Kukkonen for Maple Grove. Kukkonen dropping it for Jacobs, but he turned his head. Now Jacobs winds up with it again, trying to bring it up front. Penalty coming against the Hornets as Jacobs was hauled down by Gunnar Johnson. So a delayed penalty call against Edina.
He's there.
Turnaround try by Kukkonen was blocked, and now we'll get our penalty. A slashing call coming up against Johnson, who turns to argue.
Yeah, that's going to go a long way.
And Kirk Giles not terribly happy with the call either, it looked like.
Yep. Yeah, he's barking at the ref right now, but the call's a call. I haven't seen him change him since.
Good look right there. Yeah. A little slash on the
They're going to call
wrist.
that every time.
So we'll see what Maple Grove can do with the power play here as they try and break a 4-4 deadlock here in the opening game of the Turkey Trot tournament. Wayzata versus versus Moorhead still to come. Back across, Kukkonen shot blocked. Second try is loose and it's in. Maple Grove back in front. Jacobs put it away for the Crimson and they lead 5-4.
It's just amazing me how these teams answer each other. They hit each other in the mouth and they respond back and just come right back at each other. Nice play here. Kukkonen makes a nice setup. It gets blocked, but he stays on it, and it gets down enough so that Jacobson front got a stick on it and pounded away. See him in front there? Second backhand got it in.
No glove, or one glove anyway. Still goes as his glove was flying through the air as he tucked it away. And that's one that he'll remember. 5-4 in the lead now for Maple Grove. Boy, you don't need any more example of stay out of the box than when the other team quickly buries one on you.
Well, and you were talking too, a number of years ago, it would have been Maple Grove that was getting the penalty and kind of losing it a little bit. In this case, they're maintaining their poise. Even when Edina was in their zone at the beginning of the period or middle of the period there, they kept their poise, and of course they got an opportunity in the power play and they cashed in on it.
Pass intercepted here, and the Crimson on the move now with Oakland. Trying to put it out front. Nelson trying to get control. Kukkonen and Nelson got the assist on the goal by Jacobs, his second goal of this evening and second of the season, obviously.
They've been looking at Kukkonen and Jacobs as being the guys this year, and they have really stepped up. We've called their name a lot. They've been really good in both ends of the ice for the Crimson, and when they've needed a goal, they've stepped up and made plays.
Funny how we talked about, in the pregame, how both teams had lost a lot of their firepower from last year, but they both had strong returning goalies indeed. And what do we have? A 5-4 game early in the third.
Yeah.
You just never quite know.
Both teams getting close to their scoring average per game from last year.
See the two netminders who have been under duress for much of the night. It's been kind of a weird night for Winnicke. I mean, if you take away a couple of weird bounces, you might say that, this game would look a lot different on his stat sheet anyway, but still they all count.
That's a great point. That he's not getting flustered. He's staying in the net and he's playing it cool.
And I've always kind of felt that. I mean, if you're a goalie, you want to stop everything you can, but still the ultimate desire should be to win the game as a team. Not, I'd rather win 5-4 than lose 2-1, even though it hurts your goals against average more.
Mm-hmm.
Williams fanned on that one. It's going to skid out to center. And offside as Rugemer couldn't quite drag his skate there to stay onside.
Try to convince me that number 17, Jimmy Clark, isn't going to be a star before the year's out. He's showing flashes of being one of the better players on the ice right now, and he's a freshman. Keep your eye on number 17 for the Hornets.
Boltman sending it across, and Wyatt Wurst will dump it in. Interesting, and I think probably a smart move that, they don't generally have Bolton and Williams, their two top D paired together. They got two really solid groups with one of them on each. And that may change, at a very important point late in the game or a power play where you really need to get something going. But I think I kind of like that idea that you have one real quarterback of each pair there.
Well, it'll be fun to see, too. Now, we're getting a chance to see them again tomorrow. We'll see what the pairings look like tomorrow and see what the coaches are doing. That'll be one of the interesting things to watch tomorrow night.
Nice rush here. Kukkonen shot denied, though. Kernan picks it up. He was checked.
Wyatt Wurst made a nice play defensively for the Hornets there.
Kukkonen coming out of the circle. That one blocked. Good fight, though, by Kernan to keep it in. Kernan will play it to the point. Here's a shot and a goal. Pumped in by Cal Thomas. And Kernan's good work helped to set that one up. It looked like Edina might get the puck out. But Kernan said no, and then he fed Thomas, who snakes one through traffic.
Well, just that three-man triangle forecheck that Maple Grove's using there just really flustered the Hornets. They just could not get it out. Took it down a little deeper, and then they brought it back up top to Cal, and he just rips a beauty right in the upper right-hand corner.
There's something you love, too, about popping the goalie's water bottle up, too, right? You hit the net that well.
Man. You got it. Absolutely. Oh.
Jacobs and Kernan will get the assist on the goal by Thomas. So a 6-4 lead now for Maple Grove. A little under 9 minutes to play, and here they come again. Maple Grove slowly but surely is kind of taking this game over from midway through the second till now. Well, see if Edina has an answer.
They're really cashing in on their opportunities.
Boltman throwing a check there. Gunderson spinning away with it, drops a pass back, and Hogg able to close up on that shot attempt.
Let's go back to first period. So that ridiculous shot differential, which was true. It ain't that way anymore. All of a sudden, Maple Grove's getting their pucks on net. They ain't missing it like they did before, and it's starting to pay off. Now, faceoffs is another area, I think, in this period, Jay. They've been doing better than Edina because Edina dominated the faceoffs early in this game, or through most of this game.
Hornets do end up winning this one.
Oh,
nice pass ahead there to Borst, but jabbed away as Nelson stuck with it. And again, that rush broken up. Borst able to get it in the Crimson zone, but not very deep. Nelson flicking it ahead now toward Ian Barber. Boltman getting it back out, and right back in it'll come. Hogg dropping it there for Wyatt Wurst. Down to the corner as Edina. It's been a while since they've really generated much good offense. And that pass actually will go up into the Crimson bench. So we get a stoppage with 7:26 to go here in the third. Maple Grove leading it by a score of 6-4 and getting a couple of goals from defensemen here in this third period as well, Dan. Always a bonus when you can get, you were seeing right there, Cal Thomas had the last one. Henry Nelson had one earlier in the period as well.
Their vets are stepping up and really making it count. The Diners lost a step. Their legs aren't moving the way they were through most of this game.
Up the middle, Kukkonen, a chance for a partial break. Kukkonen to the net, he's hauled down. Penalty is coming, and now Edina touches it, and there's a brief look. It is going to be a penalty shot for Kukkonen. I was just about to say, is there a chance that this is a penalty shot? And indeed it's going to be. As
was he clean? Yes, he was clean.
So Kukkonen will be awarded a penalty shot here for the Crimson.
Penalty shots I like. Shootouts I don't like. This will be fun.
Kukkonen, I think the only bad part about this is that he was a little tired at the end of his shift, and he got up and he was almost shaking his head like, I don't know how much gas I have to come and gather myself for this one, but here we go with the penalty shot.
Let's see if he's got some magic.
Kukkonen in. Backhander is good. 7-4 Crimson.
Wow, you think he's a little fired up? They're playing Edina. This is a big game. This is a big game for both of them. But Maple Grove is showing me something here. But I'll tell you what, part of this game is finishing. And right now the Crimson are finishing. Wow, nice move.
So Kukkonen's been around the puck a lot, done a lot of good things, but then finally getting rewarded with a penalty shot on his first goal of the season. First of many, probably, the way he can play this game.
Well, he was their leading goal scorer last year with 24 goals. They're coming back anyway. Got to be a somewhat disappointing night for Coach Giles. This third period has not gone well for them. Well, you can see the big difference here, Jay, too, the fact that, Edina was skating away from that close checking of Maple Grove earlier on in the game. They're not creating any space when Maple Grove is staying right on top of them and suffocating them.
Here's a shot. Winicky the save, and fortunately for him, no traffic in front. The rebound skittered away. Now Edina able to pick it up. Behind for Boltman. Puck comes out of there. Crimson away with it. Tipped ahead, but this one's going to be an icing as Jacobs was short of the center line when he made contact with that one. So we'll come back into the Maple Grove zone here. A little under 6 to play in this one. Maple Grove has dominated late, pulling away now, leading it by a 7-4 score.
Right now, this is a test for the Edina Hornets. What can they do now in the last 6 minutes of this period? What are they going to show?
Hornets come away with it after the draw, but not really advancing it toward the net just yet. Now a shot. Winicky couldn't see it. The rebound's loose and a swing and a miss at it by Borst. Now it comes out high again, and that one by Gunnar Johnson was knocked down. Bad feeling for a moment for Winicky. He had no idea where the puck was for a moment. Now the pass comes out front. They don't get it out. Edina not on a power play, but it looks like it at the moment. Now puck loose as a Hornet was knocked down, Borst. And it comes out to center. Williams will retreat to pick it up. Maple Grove could use a change here. And they're going to dump it on out.
Why not?
Williams, and it's knocked up in the air, and this will be offside against the Crimson. Another opportunity. This was right after Winicky had lost sight of it, and then he was scrambling back. I don't know that they ever really got a real clean shot on him, though.
No, but the opening was there. Winicky's he's a little bit too much out of control. He's got too far outside on the crease there. He needs to keep it a little closer and minimize his movement so he has complete control of his arms and legs. He's a little flopsy-mopsy there, and that's where it's going to create an opening.
Is that the technical term for it?
That's coach stuck.
Offside call here against the Hornets. 4:51 to go, and Coach Berglund right now, you just don't want to see any kind of a let-up or any kind of mental lapse right now. You don't necessarily need to score anymore, but you just don't want to give Edina a chance to get back into it. Long pass here, and one official looked like he was going to call icing, but then it was waved off as that puck was tipped. Played behind now, Leafblad trying to control it for the Crimson, dropping it back. Now they try to go back to Leafblad, but intercepted by Rugemer. Rugemer was all alone now, and there you kind of see again, Edina doesn't have quite the jump in their step to join that rush maybe as they did earlier.
Nope.
And that one bouncing free. Boltman will gain control. Boltman's pass deflected, and it'll come right back to Boltman.
Maple Grove is not afraid to step up. They're taking space away from the Hornets who just, look at the feet. They're just not moving like they were.
Under 4 minutes to play now in the game. Pass tipped and hops over the stick of Dahl. Battle for it right along the blue line here, and Maple Grove's Ian Barber up with it, floating it high in the air there, and Hogg will have to deflect it aside. Dahl carrying it up the right side, will dump it in deep. Winicky stopping it there. Rolled back down to the Hornet zone, but it's not quite going to get there for icing as Williams chases it down. Maple Grove, this is just fine with them right now. Puck going into the zone and then back out and into the Edina zone and back out. And this is the way you want to play with the lead here. 3 minutes to go.
You're going to see 3 guys coming back from Maple Grove all the time. They'll keep one guy high in the attack zone, and he'll go back to the D to make sure there's absolutely no odd man rushes.
Nelson stumbling briefly, but Edina was changing there, so no harm done. Kukkonen up with it. Cross ice looking there. Finding, it's just jabbed away from Jacobs as he tried to go to the net. Now right up the gut, Borst trying to get around Nelson. drops it back. Here's a shot. Winicky the save. The rebound, though, is in. Edina sticking with it, and ultimately it'll be Worst, I believe, Emmett Worst getting that goal for the Hornets. Has a great cross-ice pass, and it helped to set that one up.
Good comeback. Let it go, Hornets. Let them know you're still in the game.
See the first save by Winicky, but then Worst able to pump it in.
And part of this is Winicky, Jay. He's just not getting control of it. He needs to make the stop and then freeze it. And you can see he's kind of out of control. He's not quite sure what an arm is doing or a leg's doing. He needs to stay squared up on that. So, okay, Edina's answered the call so far with 2:30 left. Wrapped his hand around the puck. So face-off will be inside the Maple Grove zone.
Worst and Overman will get the assists on the goal by Emmett Worst, the senior for the Hornets. And when you were talking about, too, when there was 7-4, and, you know, you obviously you're hoping to come back all the way back and tie it up, but even if you don't, you want to do something to get yourself into that second night of the tournament to feel a little bit better coming out of it. I mean, let's face it, when you're the defending state champion, if you lose this game, you're not going to be happy regardless, but you want to make sure that you're, you know, still working hard through the end of this third period and still generating things.
Fighting through it. There's still Edina.
That shot blocked. Under 2 minutes to play now. Hornets trying to keep the pressure on and see if they can't get to within one here. Clark gaining control, putting it into the circle. Dahlquist took that one away. Crimson trying to get it out, but couldn't quite do so. Clark tried to step through a couple follow-up opportunities, swing and a miss at that one, and it's tipped back out to center. Smart play there by Maple Grove. Yep. But now here comes Boltman. Boltman shooting that one, deflecting way up high off the netting, and we'll get a whistle of the minute 19, and Hogg might be being waved to the bench for a sixth attacker here.
Yes, he is.
I think he will be.
And the Boris line's coming back out. Boris really picked it up after the second, halfway through the second period. He came through, and that line came through with that fifth goal.
We have a timeout taken here by Edina. Get some strategy and also maybe get some guys a little rested up as you go for it late here, down by 2 with 1:19 to play.
Well, that Boris line was just out there. They had just gotten back to the bench, and then they got the face-off inside, and he put him back out, but good timeout call. So right now, Maple Grove's playing good defense in front. Right now, the question is when he's got to settle down, maintain his position, and play good fundamental goaltending, okay? Watch where your crease pace is. Don't get stretched out too far. Edina, set it up. Don't be impatient. Take your time. Yes, it is 2 goals, but that can happen quickly. Take 1 goal at a time. Get the play set up the way Coach wants you to set it up. It will usually be, I think, a backdoor or opposite side one-timer that they'll try to set up.
You could see when we first took that shot of Coach Berglund, he was saying, spread everything to the perimeter. We want to keep our shape, not allow somebody to sneak in behind you. Just kind of keep everything outside. And it's kind of, you know, again, it just depends on how the game shapes up, but it's a little bit of good work on situational hockey late here, I think, for both teams, too. You know, how do you play with a lead, and how do you play when you're trying to overcome a deficit?
Yep.
Important face-off here. Kukkonen and Dahl facing it off. No clear win here. Now the Hornets will come up with it. Shot. Oh, was it in? No. Off the crossbar. Then the net comes off. Shallow angle shot that was nearly in. Let's get a look at this one here. Right. Oh, off the top of the goalpost, and then Winicky knocking the net off. And
Winnicke's looking a little shaky right now, Jay. I'm just going to be honest with you.
Williams across. There's a high rocket. Edina didn't seem to complain much, but Winnicke really pushed the net off for no apparent reason there. Now the pass coming across. Here's a shot, and Winnicke the glove catch on that one as Clark lined it up. .53 to go. Another face-off here. Still a 2-goal lead for Maple Grove, but Edina has taken over late here. They've scored once to pull within the 7-5 score, and now the Crimson able to flip it out. It's going to be an icing though for them. See the empty net there.
I like the fact that Kurt Giles put a freshman and a sophomore out on this group. Dahl has been excellent in the faceoffs. He's a sophomore, and of course Jimmy Clark's out there, the freshman, and with Boltman and
Williams are out there at the points,
showing a lot of early confidence in these young players.
Off the draw, it goes to the corner. Ooh, the mug Crimson player down there. Hornets trying to drag it out front. We've got a delayed penalty coming up. The puck pushed down the ice. Now we will get our call. Maple Grove's Dahlquist, I think, is going to be penalized here.
Wow, I find that quite hilarious. He's one that got mugged down in the corner. Oh, boy. Okay. So now Edina with a 2-man.
There's the slash right there.
Okay. I thought it was for holding down in the corner there. Good call, referees. 25 seconds.
Hornets win the draw. Back out it comes to Boltman. Across toward Williams. Williams shooting, and it is blocked. Great block there by Jacobs. And now we got a battle going on, and we're going to have both guys sent off. And some more. And now Nelson mixing it up with Overman again. Those were the original two, I think, and then the officials moved elsewhere to separate, and then you see right out front 10, and there's the turnaround slash by Overman, and then it kind of developed from there.
They're still jawing at each other.
And they're going to send them both off.
Why not?
Hopefully not to the same exit though, right? And they are. Overman and Ethan Elias being sent off.
Okay, they both went to the locker room. I've seen situations like that before, Jay, where they didn't quite make it back to the locker room. Interesting.
I would think these appear to just be offsetting minors, but I don't think it's misconduct. I think it's just that there was under, we only got 13 seconds left in the game anyway. That shot blocked. It comes loose again. Now controlled by the Crimson. They'll play it over toward the corner. Out front it comes. Boltman's high shot was knocked down. And we get to the final buzzer, and Maple Grove's going to win its season opener and the Turkey Trot opener here as they look to defend their Turkey Trot title and win this one by a score of 7-5. Boy, when it got to be 3-1, you're kind of wondering, like, things aren't going so well. But obviously they came on strong from that point and getting the job done here tonight.
Well, the veteran leadership stepped up. We talked about Jacobs, Kukanen, and all the guys that had been around before that really stepped up to the plate and brought them back from that 3-1 deficit and then forged ahead. And I'll tell you, we pretty much had everything in this game. We had fast skating, we had good playmaking, we had some rough stuff, we had some penalties, we had a major penalty. It was really a different kind of game. It changed from period to period. But Maple Grove persevered, and I think they were the better team tonight.
So the Crimson rallying and pumping in 4 goals in that third period, and then kind of had to hold off Edina late as the Hornets got 1, but couldn't quite come all the way back from that 3-goal deficit, so it ends up as a 7-5 victory here for Maple Grove. Well, so we will take a quick timeout. We're going to hear from the Crimson in a moment as John Jacobson down ringside, and then later on this evening it'll be Moorhead and Wayzata as John will step up here into the play-by-play booth for that one. We'll be right back here with our first game of the Turkey Trot Tournament as our post game coming up. Maple Grove beating Edina 7-5.
This holiday season, unwrap the possibilities with a Simonson Salon and Spa experience. Unrivaled hair, face, body, nail services, and beauty products for you or anyone on your list. Spa packages start at only $148. A holiday-inspired bonus gift is yours with a qualifying in-store gift card purchase. Shop our irresistible boutique for trendy fashions, gifts, and accessories in Maple Grove, Plymouth, and Coon Rapids. For dazzling online gift certificates, visit simonsons.com.
CCX Media, your source for great local programming, is now available on Roku and Apple TV. Our free app allows you to stream all 3 of our channels live. You also have access to a large on-demand library, including daily newscasts and full sporting events. To find the app, go to the store and search CCX and download our free app. Then sit back and enjoy all of your favorite local content. Now available on Roku and Apple TV. We're with a couple of winning Crimson players as Maple Grove takes this one 7-5 over Edina. Sam Jacobs, Chris Kernan each had 2 goals, and I don't think you necessarily pictured 12 goals on opening night, but that's what you had, and you got the 7. That's what counts.
Yeah, it was a really good team game. It was good to have the first game come out like this. We were down by a couple goals to start, and then after the period, we kind of just came out and we're firing on all cylinders.
Talk about that third period.
I think the boys were really just rolling there. A lot of energy coming in. We got that 4th one quick, and it was just our game from there.
How excited were you when you found out your first game of the season with Edina?
Oh, we were pumped. Obviously, it's always fun to play Edina anytime. So especially to play them in the Trot first game, it was pretty special.
Congratulations on this win. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Chris Kernan also a couple of goals tonight, like Sam Jacobs had, and. How excited were you to get this one out of the way and have a win?
Oh, I'm extremely excited. I mean, as Chris said, Edina's a great team, and it's awesome to get a win on the first game of the season. So,
What's the best part of this Turkey Trot tournament for you guys?
Well, the packed crowd, and then we play the best teams in the state right off the rip of the season, so it's good to measure where we are.
Fun to have the fans down at that end supporting you.
Yeah, it's awesome. We got the big student section over there with the togas. That's pretty sweet.
Are you going to sit and watch this next one now? What do you expect from Wayzata or Moorhead tomorrow night? Another tough test either way, right?
Yeah, they're both good teams. I would expect Wayzata to win, though. I think they're our rivals. I would rather play them, right? Get the crowd to be jam-packed for that game, so yeah.
Enjoy a little rest. We'll see you tomorrow night.
Yeah, thank you.
Maple Grove, nice win tonight. 7-5 over Edina in the first semifinal. Go back up to Jay and Dan to wrap it up.
Thanks, John, and congratulations to the Crimson. So they'll play for the title on Saturday night. We'll have both of those games for you live here on CCX, as well as Wayzata Moorhead. They're warming up. We'll have that one for you in just a bit here. The final in this one, Maple Grove 7, Edina 5. So long for now from Plymouth Ice Center.